Hey guys, this is DreadbaneSC, joined once again by SephyreSC, and we're casting another game against, well, the second, I guess, of Boo as the Zerg and Kiante as the Terran. So this is on Coolus Ravine. So Seph, what do you think we're in store for today?
Well, it's interesting having seen such a crazy game one, some really fantastic play by Kiante there. I imagine Boo's looking for some vengeance because these players do know each other from Team Liquid IRC. It'll be interesting because I find that Coolest Ravine, this map definitely favours Zerg a lot more because you can macro up. There's lots of really spread out expansions, and there's lots of destructible rocks into the base and that kind of stuff, which is really fun to mess around with. And you can really get creeps spread everywhere, and even just looking at the natural expansions, these are nice and wide open, so you can really flood troops in, and it's much harder for Terran and Protoss to turtle against a Zerg on this map. So I find that the advantage should be in Boo's court. He should be able to macro nicely as long as Kiante doesn't cheese him. Now, I imagine Boo's going to be scouting him absolutely heavily this match, simply because of what happened last match with the craziness with Boo's from nowhere 14cc, which absolutely dominated Boo towards the late game. So it'll be interesting to see if Kiante comes up with the same build or throws something completely different at Boo. And as we said before, these two players do know each other. As you could see, there was a bit of smack talk going between the two. So these players know each other's style quite a bit. So I'll expect some curveballs to try and mix it up a bit.
Yeah, I mean, Boo really. I mean, when you really look at it, he kind of got dominated in that game. He pushed out initially, and then right after that, it was all really Kiante. He really was just had all the answers to all the Mutalisks, and I mean, yeah, I was very surprised at how Kiante kind of had his own way with everything. Really, I mean, he just kind of rolled up with all these Marines, and yeah, we'll see if there's maybe the same strategy or another one. They two early expansions right now at the same time, so yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting. Kiante's gone for the same build, another ridiculously fast 14cc, which, I mean, is not that popular in StarCraft 2. It's big in StarCraft 1 because big players like Flash used it so successfully against Jaedong, but, I mean, now we're seeing 14cc, 2 barracks going down at the natural expansion, so we're seeing a similar strategy from Kiante, really aggressive really early on, and Poor Boo has expanded himself, but he's really going to need to pick this up with his Overlord and figure out what Kiante is doing to be able to come up with a counter. He's either going to have to rush this expansion or out macro the hell out of Kiante, and I'm not quite sure which way Boo's going to go. I know he must be thinking there may be some cheese, and at this point, he doesn't know which of the three positions Kiante is at. Like, this Overlord's finally going to snake its way into the base, and he's going to realize what the hell's going on once he sends a few scouts. And he's getting his own natural expansion up and running. Meanwhile, Kiante has his natural expansion up and running with more workers, and he has 2 barracks already out there to defend it. So this is really aggressive play from Kiante, and I think he's put him in another strong position because Boo is equal in the macro stakes, and really he can't fall behind a Terran in terms of expansion because that is just curtains for any Zerg player.
Kiante seems to have got this build down pat here. I mean, I'm surprised like how well he's used this build. I mean, I'm surprised I haven't seen this really very many times before. It's I mean, he's actually out macroing the Zerg player, which I very rarely see at the start of the game. It's kind of amazing to see actually. I mean, it's Overlord gonna get taken out on the way back, but yeah, it's very interesting to see.
Yeah, this crazy little Marine's doing a sort of a 180V pivot on the spot. It's pretty impressive aerobics there, but takes the Overlord out. So, I mean, he denied that scout, but it would have been worth it for Boo. He's kind of saw what's going on, and he hasn't seen this expansion as far as I know. I haven't seen a ground scout come in yet, so I'm not quite sure. No, he has seen it with his Overlord, so he's seen the barracks pushed out there, so he must realise what Kiante's up to again with this very strong, very aggressive 14 SCV to CC build here. Now, I'm not quite sure what Boo will do this time. Yeah, here we see the smack talk from Boo, realising what's going on and trying to debate what he's going to do here. I mean, even if he uses this huge lava pool to go Zerglings, he's not going to be able to push out into it with that many Marines there. I think he has to go macro, but it's a really terrible position as a Zerg player to realise that this has gone on, especially on a map like this. You're kind of like, oh, I was trying to get a macro advantage and Terran's keeping with me. And to then try and, 6 minutes in, try and step up the macro, it's really tough for a Zerg player. So I'm not quite sure what Boo's going to do here. I think Kiante has once again put himself in a dominant position, and that's why Boo's throwing down a little bit of good-hearted smack talk about what's occurring here.
The Zerg Boo has actually got his Hydralisk down coming out now, and yeah, there's he's just Kiante's gone the same build really as last time. I mean, to a T really. He's just pumping out these Marines, and yeah, maybe Boo's trying to figure out what to do really. I mean, it'd be interesting to see if one of them really takes the risks and goes for the high yield gold expansion, just to see if they can maybe pull away from one of each other. Because as it is now, it's just I mean, Boo's kind of just thinking of what can he do right now.
He's done a nice little play here. He did a lava save as he teched into Hydras, and now he's just put out a huge amount of Hydras. I imagine he might try and push out right away with these, maybe make a few Zerglings to support it, and try and pull something off against Boo here, who's only rocking out with his Marines. Now, if Boo can push in and get through, I imagine he might be able to do some damage and put Kiante on the defensive, but he really needs to do something, and I think that's why he saved those lava to get so many Hydras straight away to try and make something happen. But I think Kiante's going to be okay. He did put up this supply depot here in front of the destructible rock, so he's thought this one through, and he has a lot of Marines, which is, you know, not the best against Hydralisk, but he has so many and so many barracks, and he's going to... Oh, here we go.
The
Thor is
Thors.
here.
Oh, the Thors are coming now. It's this is going to end badly for somebody right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Thor is here. It's going to be really, really bad news for Boo once this Thor... Oh, we've got a second Thor, and these SCVs are probably going to get into repair mode, so I think that Boo could be in a bit of a trouble here once these Thors get working on the Hydras.